Hello everybody, John12 back here again with another video, and I'm here to give you another top 5. Yes, it's that time of the weekend, so let's get down to it. Now, of course, today and tomorrow, this week in general, is going to be a great week for TV programmers because today is the Season 2 premiere of Gotham, and tomorrow on Tuesday night is the season premiere of Scream Queens. And obviously, as you know, these are two shows that I will be reviewing, but however, seeing as how I'm doing a top 5 on the day of release, I would not be dedicating this top 5 to Gotham Season 2. Maybe in the following weeks, I'll do some top 5s dedicated to Gotham. However, I decided to dedicate this specific top 5 for Scream Queens. It's a show that I've been somewhat highly anticipating. I have, significant interest. It's from the same people from American Horror Story, so why not? If it's going to be a comedic, goofy version of American Horror Story, I'm alright with that, so screw it. And plus, the cast that's attached to it, both I like and intrigue me. So, I'm definitely interested to see how this show, it develops and it continues, and arcs over its, overall season. But however, I decided to dedicate this top 5 to that show, and of course it is, you guessed it, based off the title, Top 5 Scream Queens list. Yes, it's my personal top 5 subjective opinion list of the top Scream Queens from before and after, essentially. The pre and post-modern. Basically, from 1970s to now. I could go prior, but that would be kind of like unnecessary. I feel like 1970s onward is kind of like a good, starting point for like a realistically good actress and in actual good movies of horror. So that's kind of like the overall gist of where I'm coming from. And essentially, Scream Queens are a very interesting topic, a very interesting, cliche to a certain extent, but like a good platform in genre of, acting in and of itself in the horror genre. And of course, it's been done to death. And there's a lot of great ones. There's a lot of stinkers. There's a lot of, unknown ones. There's just so many Scream Queens. And if you remember, back in my horror tag Q&A video, which I did, I think, a couple months ago. If you've not seen it, go check it out. It's pretty interesting. If you want to get my personal thoughts on the horror genre in a whole. But overall, I did give Scream Queens, because in that Q&A, it was I think there was a question that said, who is your favorite Scream Queen, or some said shit. I don't remember. However, I did give 3 choices as to who were my personal favorite Scream Queens. One of them was Jamie Lee Curtis, the second was Danielle Harris, and the third was Emma Roberts. But for this list, I decided to expand on that and give a couple more actresses that I personally really like to get on that list. However, seeing as how I mentioned these actresses in that Q&A, it is no real gigantic surprise that more than likely they will end up on this list. Quick spoiler, but it's true. I can't really deny that. They are on the list. But I did add more, and on top of that, there are significant tags to them, which means that there will be ties in this list. I know, I hate it when I do that, when I do ties, but there's just so many Scream Queens from back in the day, from like the golden age to the modern age of horror genre and slasher movies, and just so many different significant horror movies with great actresses leading them, that it's hard to pick and choose every single one. So that's why there's some ties. Don't judge me. It's my list. I can do whatever I want. It's a subjective list, remember. Keep that in mind. However, comment below and let me know what is your top 5 Scream Queens list, because I know there's tons of horror fanboys out there who probably will differ from my list, but it's my list. Just keep that in mind. However, that being said, let's get into this list. Let's get into my top 5 Scream Queens list. Starting up at number 5 is a tie, and it's a tie between Emma Roberts and Mercedes McNabb. Now, of course, these are 2 actresses I feel really kill it in the specific genres and horror movies that they've done, and the specific cult following that they've continued to gather up. Emma Roberts, as I stated in my Q&A, I'm overall a big fan of hers. I've always have been a big fan of hers ever since her child acting rather, back in the day from like the Nickelodeon programs, and then when she grew up and started doing like really, hardcore movies, and then when she was like started to splash into and jump into the horror genre, I really appreciated stuff that she did. I know there's a lot of other like horror fanatics out there who probably don't like her, but I personally do. I liked what she brought in Scream 4. I liked what she did with the American Horror Story TV franchise. She fucking kills it. She's a good actress, and I like what she's done. And to me, she's a Scream Queen. And when it comes to Mercedes overall, I've been a huge fan of her ever since I was a kid. Like, whatever it's like her movie work, her television work, Addams Family movies, the freaking Hatchet movies, and everything in between. Like I'm a huge Buffy fan. Like, I loved her in Buffy and Angel. She fucking kills it. Anywhere she is, she kills it. She fucking dominates. She's a great actress. She's like one of those great actresses that's always been kind of like below the radar, but I always appreciated. I'm just saying, she just kills it as a Scream Queen and as an actress overall in any kind of medium she's in, TV or movies. But that's just me. To me, my personal fave out of any of the actresses, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Sarah Michelle Gellar, I don't know if horror fans would consider her a straightforward Scream Queen, because obviously, it really depends your definition of Scream Queen. But for me personally, she's been in a lot of cult stuff, and she's been in a lot of horror movies. She's been in a lot of amazing projects that I personally love, and she's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's no wrong in this. She freaking kills it. She's always, like, ever since I was a kid, she was always, like, one of my faves growing up as an actress overall. She's just awesome, badass, kills it and everything. And I wish she would do, like, really big new stuff. I just feel like she should be way more bigger than she already is, which is saying a lot, because someone could differ with that opinion. But overall, as a Scream Queen, she kills it, and I like her. But moving off of that specific spot, let's get into top 3. Number 3 is another tie, and it's a tie between Amy Steele and Heather Langenkamp. Heather and Amy, I feel like, are part of the new generation that changed the scope of like the horror genre in specific ways and their own specific franchises. Amy Steele, obviously, from Friday the 13th Part 2, and Heather Langenkamp from Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, specifically the original and Part 3 and A New Nightmare. And I feel like the great thing about these two actresses that I put them together is that they're similar in the terms of like they were game changers in the horror genre, in the sense that they were kind of the first legitimate actresses slash protagonists of their specific movie storylines that fought back against the main antagonist of the story. Amy Steele killed it in Friday Part 2. I know everyone loves the first one and the actress and Scream Queen for that movie, but for me, I'm all hardcore into Amy Steele. Amy Steele dominates that movie. She kills it. She fucking running around, beating shit, fucking going crazy. That moment where she impersonates, Mrs. Voorhees in front of Jason, I love that scene. And Heather, she fucking redefined the horror genre with her performance as a Scream Queen in that movie. She freaking killed it. She freaking dominated. And she was obviously the linchpin for new generations of, like, the Neve Campbells of the modern age going forward for actresses who fucking fought against the main antagonist or slasher killer villain of their specific horror movies. But moving off of that, and going to my top 2, number 2 on this list, no surprise, as she was in my Q&A, Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris, come on, she's the fucking definitive Scream Queen of the modern age. She freaking is. She freaking destroys. She's been consistent. She's amazing. She's talented. Granted, I wish, there's like a part of me that wishes, at least for, like, in her current state of her career, I really wish she would branch out, because she's obviously very significantly talented, that I wish she would branch out and, like, do, like, a lot of hardcore, different kind of things, which I'm sure she does, but there is no denial, even with that kind of nitpicky kind of attitude towards her, I guess, filmography, her career, or maybe even her state as a Scream Queen, there is no denial that she is one of the definitive scream queens. She is consistently awesome. She's definitely talented. She freaking destroys the majority of the movies she's in, whether it's a supporting role or the main protagonist, rather. She is just awesome overall, and I love her. Danielle Harris, there's no wrong in that. But moving off of that, obviously, I'm going to skip the honorable mentions because if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of sick, and I'm sick of talking when I'm sick. I'm just saying, I get, my allergies are kicking up. It's an unfortunate thing. However, also, there's so many scream queens out there. There's so many actresses who are considered scream queens. There's so many actresses who are definitive scream queens. And there's so many actresses who fucking destroy in horror movies. However, I can't really get to them one day. Maybe one day I'll do another one. I'll be doing a redo, or maybe I'll do another Scream Queens kind of list. But for right now, I'm going to have to skip the honorable mentions and get straight forward to my number one pick. And it's no surprise, and maybe it's a little cliche, but fuck it. It's my list, it's subjective, and it's Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis, hands down my fave of all time. She's the definitive Scream Queen for me of all time. She's the golden age Scream Queen. She's the Scream Queen of all ages. She fucking created the role of Scream Queen. At least in my opinion. I know there's tons of people who differ with me and contrast with me and fucking tell me like, okay, this is why you're wrong and this is why you're stupid. I get it. Jamie Lee Curtis destroys. She's my definitive fave. Every movie she's done, completely awesome and amazing. Every horror movie she was in, she dominated in. She was an amazing Scream Queen. And on top of that, she had the balls to like recreate her career and like not do, like, and no offense, and obviously this is not me trying to bash, but like not do like the Danielle Harris thing and just stay consistently in horror movies and branch out and make a career outside of horror movies. And that's the amazing thing that I like Scream Queens or specific horror actors or actresses to do, because not that it's like stupid or unfortunate or like a sad thing that like actors and actresses stick to a specific franchise and genre. I mean, it's kind of like the superhero genre where it's like the Hugh Jackman thing, like a lot of, or like the Birdman theory, where a lot of people feel like when you're stuck in a specific genre, your career is done. It's like the Superman curse. However, actors and actresses like Jamie Lee Curtis or a Hugh Jackman have showed that you can have gigantic, amazing careers outside of the genre that they're known for. Jamie Lee Curtis defines that for the horror genre. She fucking killed it in horror movies, and she fucking killed it in other amazing cult movies, sci-fi, drama, romance, comedies that she did outside of doing Halloween movies. And on top of that, she's fucking returning to fucking horror genre again with Scream Queens. And I fucking love that fact. She's co-starring it with Emma Roberts. They're both on that show. I can't wait to see the first episode, which premieres on Tuesday. Definitely check it out. But overall, that's been my top 5 Scream Queens list. Please comment below. Let me know what you personally thought about my top 5 list. And of course, if your list differs from me, please comment below and give me your personal top 5 Scream Queens list. And of course, tell me if you're going to check out Scream Queens Episode 1. I definitely am, and if you're interested, please come back later in the week to check out my review for Scream Queens. But that being said, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, @Charge12. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm sorry if I sounded so weird, but, allergies, it's really freaking early in the morning as I'm recording this. So the allergies are kicking in. However, I'm going to go take some medicine so I can make more videos. And this has been Charge12.